2022, just like the last election season, has been filled with so much drama, politicking, agenda and counter-agendas, conversations and so much interest. Everyone has a stake this time. Many are sure of the outcomes they're expecting to see, others just want a scenario that eases the hardships they've experienced and creates a better Nigeria for all. It's a new month and we are closer than ever to the campaign season. While multiple parties present what a better Nigeria should look like through their agendas, who can Nigerians trust? What are the factors that will culminate to impact expectations for the 2023 elections? On Rubbin Minds, we quiz all the factors that will shape the 2023 elections and hopefully get insights from our guest on the factors that will shape the elections in 2023 for both the electorate and those to be elected.
It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're going to be starting our show today talking about the elections. February 2023 is around the corner, but more importantly, September 28th is even closer, which is the beginning of campaigns officially by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The INEC has said that a 5-month window will be left open for candidates across board to campaign openly to voters to get their votes for the elections in February. And a lot is happening around the country. People are starting to talk about polls. These day newspapers published something on their front page on Thursday talking about the likelihood of who's going to win, calling the race too close to call for now. That's the presidential elections, of course. So the policy is quite heated. A lot of the candidates have gone to London and come back after trying to solicit whoever it is to come into their corner. Former President Obasanjo is still in the conversation, interestingly. So we're going to be talking about all of that and more on the show today. And I'm joined now by Adeni Ikunu, who is a political analyst. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you also.
We've all been waiting for September 28th. Finally, the month is here. There's a lot that's been happening already behind the scenes. Lots of traveling, horse trading. The PDP is still, we're still not sure what's happening with the Wike dynamic. The APC is still trying to sort of, pacify because a lot of people are not necessarily happy with, the choice of candidates and all of that. The Labour Party, people are still not sure about this word structure and how it would affect anything, the outcome. What are your thoughts on how things are going to shape up in the coming weeks?
In the first place, we need to evolve a culture. If you find out, each individual belongs in a family, and every family has a culture. You go to some homes, you can sit the way you want. You go to some other homes, people are more organized. You go to some homes, you don't eat after 8 p.m. You go to some home at 10 p.m., people are still taking bottles of soft drinks. There's a culture we have not evolved here, and I think there's a lot that has resulted in not having a political culture, a culture that one can describe as that which belongs to Nigeria. And it is, of course, because we don't pay attention to details. We are multi-ethnic, multilinguistic, we are multifarious people. And of course, we have our disaffections. So I think that what we must do first, going into this particular election, is to see if we can do crash course in the reconscientization of people into the ideal culture of political participation. If we endeavor such crash courses in trying to let people see themselves beyond the divides, which are everywhere anyway. For instance, if you've traveled a great deal of times, if you live in Arizona and you found yourself maybe in Michigan and you are from the US, you'd find out that this person is from Arizona, especially one who is native to that place. I've said that because across the world we have divides. If you live in Liverpool, you speak differently than somebody who lives in Edinburgh. These things are there. But the people in question that I've made reference to are able to look beyond these obvious divides and see what works for everybody. So the crash course in evolving a political culture that will help us address election issues from a perspective of getting it right, the fact that it must be free and fair, these things are very fundamental. So it is in doing this that we're able to get ready indeed to address our issues. I must say that.
Yeah. I wanted to go to the cover page of This Day on Thursday,
Yeah.
which was very, very interesting. You know,
Okay.
they did sort of an analysis of
Serious
the
one.
three major candidates,
Yeah.
you know, and they said the race is still too close to call. Now, but they said it's too close to call for the PDP and the APC. The Labour Party candidate was not seen as one of the three.
Yeah.
He's touted to win the Southeast and some parts of the South-South. Lagos is interesting
Yes.
in the analysis because the analysis said the APC candidate will most likely take it. The Labour Party candidate is making inroads because it's probably the most cosmopolitan city and they're
Most definitely.
drifting towards, you know, his messaging. But the PDP has always done well in Lagos as well.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a very interesting shift in a lot of places around the country.
Of course.
For example, the Northeast is usually the stronghold of Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
But now the vice presidential candidate for the APC is from that same region. It's a very different election we're playing out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that it's beautiful for democracy to evolve a system where nobody feels like they've taken others to cleaners. And it also attests to the level of our exposure to the things that we should have long been aware of. Oftentimes people feel like elections don't concern me, but if you allow somebody who do not or who doesn't actually understand the dynamics of political representation and leadership takes power, you suffer for it. The reason you're here is because you're not a product of quick mail. You know, this age likes just get it done quickly. You've been there over the years, so you are a product of a well-formed substructure and systems that has enabled you hold your own within the global space. The same thing is expected of people who get within the framework of political leadership. And at this moment, the reconscientization of especially millennials into what they should be doing. You can't be in a cocoon on your phone. You suffer for it. For instance, majority of them have been on strike, especially those at the federal universities, from February or March of this year. Up to this time, they're still at home. And even the ones that are in school, it's kind of haphazard. So if you look at it, they believe that over the years, we've been doled or shuffled cards that we do not want. And I really like the fact that nobody at the moment feels, even the three people that you talked about, there are no guarantees. You need 25% in 2/3 of that is how you actually get it.
Yeah.
So if you do not get that, it is impossible
all,
for
you're
you.
off the-
So I think that it is healthy for democracy, but if we look away from them also, most of them should start talking in the direction of the people that will vote for them. And I think this is an opportunity for the millennials to understand they have the power. 50-60% of 220 million people approximately are those who are vibrant, full of energy, those who believe that their future must be protected, without which we are all in problem. So if you look at it, I think it is good. I think we're evolving. But even whilst that's happened, we know that the election is not handled by the electorate. It is handled by an umpire.
All right.
And the umpire, to a great extent, has the power to do and undo, and if there's any kind of do's in between, that is what the person can do.
Speaking of umpires, something that people don't talk about a lot is that for the first time, I think since 2007,
Okay.
we'll be having an election without the incumbent on the ballot. But interestingly, that election in 2007,
Yeah.
even the eventual winner, the late President Yaradua,
Yeah.
did say it was quite flawed.
He actually agreed to
So
that.
I don't know how that plays into this time when Buhari is not going to be on the ticket, President Buhari is not going to be on the ticket. So all the candidates are people who are supposedly fresh candidates.
Well,
is that
okay.
going to be a good?
I do not think it's pretty fresh. Let me use this opportunity to chip it in that I also speak for Dumebe Kachuku, a presidential candidate of the ADC. We were at the NBA conference and we saw that the three persons mentioned have been within the corridors of power. That means they've been newsmakers within the Fourth Republic, which is 22 years.
Yes.
You cannot take that presence away. If you discount that, you suffer for it. Atiku Abubakar comes from a region of the north that has a pattern of voting in an election. And that also has the word sentiment infused into that. If you left there, you talk about a Shatima. You rightly mentioned that in your opening, that this is a region that accounts for a whole lot as far as elections are concerned. But you also should understand here that because of the evolution of our political consciousness, some people are waiting in the wings to actually let them see the things they never expected. We know you can't take away experience. Atiku at the NBA conference was talking about experience. Shetima talked about the fact that he has done quite a number of things, even if there are questions. Peter Obi was crunching the numbers, and interestingly, Dumebi Kachuku that I speak for, was there, and he said, I want to greet my grandfathers, and that is a communication. He believes it belongs within the demography of youth that they can appeal to. So I must say that being in the news over the years by being a governor, a former governor matters, but Atiku also has been in the corridors. So, but for the fact that we had space of time between when he was in office and now coming, he's been a perennial person who returns to actually participate. So you can't take away his experience. Peter Obi is actually gathering certain momentum that if you look away from, you could also suffer for it. Because he has actually pinched people into that reality of the lies they've been told and the truth that they must know and act upon. Shetima obviously held the sway at the conference for his superior. But at the same time, we know the conversations around the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They talked about age issues. We had to travel 16, 18 hours to the US for Chicago State University to tell us, yes, he attended school. Okay, what business? So you find out that there are lots of things that will play out for or against the people. Dumebu Kachuku tells the world, I'm the youngest. I understand this. I've done a diagnosis of everything that is happening. So all of these things are out there. It is not left for the average voter to say, I have seen all these cards that have been doled. How do I pick the right one? I need to be in possession of the aces and spades. I need to hold the king and queen. And if you play Scrabble or you play chess, you should understand that once the queen is in your hand, you know where to go. So really, it's going to be a very interesting electioneering season. And as you said, it's coming this month.
I like the fact that you mentioned that. I want to just quickly talk about, two things I want to ask. First off, is it surprising that Rabiu Kwankwaso is not even in the conversation when you talk about the race on the general level? And then secondly, the Labour Party they don't like to be called the third force, but most people say they are. You've talked about Dumebi Kachuku and all the other candidates who are also in the race.
Yes, please.
Why has the talk about them coming together to, be a solid force not come to fruition still?
Well, I think that you should understand that power has its own idiosyncrasies. It has its features. It doesn't embrace friendship forever. It embraces privileges, opportunities, and advantages that come to you. Power is not like cooking a meal. Power is pretty different the world over. You have to understand that oftentimes where your interest is where you tilt towards. And that is why people are looking at For instance, let's look at Rabiu Kwankwaso. I met him at the airport, by the way, 2 weeks ago. A very amiable and dangerously intelligent person. Not so much of an extrovert, but of course is calculated. I followed him while in power, his publications, the things he wrote, and I must tell you, he's a dogged person. Now, the political capital of Nigeria is the Northwest. For the North is the Northwest. For the South is Lagos, where we are right now. And if you look at Kwankwaso, he believes that he has a movement across the northwestern part of the country. By the way, that region has the highest number as far as registered voters, 96 million plus to go into the election, compared to the 84 million plus that went for the 2019 elections. So there's a chunk coming from there, followed by the south or west, of course, the south where we are. He believes that I've held my own enough. Even if you see anything, I have to remain where I am for you to make overtures, for us to actually work together. So somebody's talking about the fact that I have the power. If you look at Atiku Abubakar, he believes that as far as he's concerned, he has held the vice presidential position before, and in the Northeast, nobody stands soldiers equal. Even if a Shetima speaks, quite frankly, Atiku is a bulwark over there. But if you talk about Kwankwaso, he looks to me like a man who will decide a lot of faith. Don't forget that the subordinates that served in the capacity of the deputy, who is the current governor of Kano State, fell out with his master sooner as he got in the office than that happened. But if you look at what Kwankwaso has been able to do, he's been able to show that my personality is acceptable, not only in the Northwest, but of course, even beyond that. We often don't talk about the north central part of this country. That region is key to any election that has been won. If you look at the character, for instance, of a Kwankwaso and, for instance, an Atiku Abubakar, in my own political analysis and estimation, a Kwankwaso would easily want to work with like a Samuel Otom who is from the North Central state of Benue than for them to work with an article. It sounds funny, but that's a fact. If you also check what has been happening within the rank and file of the PDP, you'd agree with me that the demography and the political perspective of the like of Otom, of the Wike you talked about, sits quite different from that of the Atiku Abubakar of this world and Iyocha, who happens the current leader, yes, of the PDP. So I really need to say that what you've mentioned is very, very important. And going forward, this will also be part of what we revenge. So overtrust won't be possible because everybody believes in my own right I'm a colossus. So they will wait for the best time to strike while the iron is hot.
So, I mean, February 2023, inevitable. How do you think things are going to play out eventually?
The electorate will be the decider in that election. But I also worry about what the electorate will do if the weather is not favorable to them and they have to stand far longer than they expect.
So little factors might shape the day.
Well, that is it. Number one, don't forget that the times when we talk about thugs and all that, they endure the inclements of any weather condition. They might have been motivated, with some kind of paltry sum, but they believe that there's devotion to the cause for their respective masters. I think that the devotion to the Nigerian cause should be ultimate in the minds of the electorate, regardless of the rain, regardless of the sun, regardless of INEC's possible logistical problems. They should see through. The electorate will be the ultimate decider of the election.
That's a very good place to end it. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a break now. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
The entertainment industry has seen many people come to disrupt the laid out model that used to work. Entertainment almost doesn't care for gatekeepers and offers almost the same opportunity to blow as a creator. Carter Efe is an example of a talent that pushes. He has one of the largest Instagram viewership to his skits. He has enjoyed months of collaboration with his friends, and now, like a shock to the world, he's trending with his hit single, Machala. Machala debuted on the US Billboard charts and is a tribute to Nigerian superstar Wizkid. How has Carter Efe used his following to create the push for a hugely popular Nigerian anthem? Up next on Rubbin Minds.
Welcome back to the show. It's time for us to talk entertainment, and I have a special guest here with me. If you're a music lover, you definitely know him. His single is currently burning up the charts around the world, and Nigerians can't have enough of his single, Machala. Make some noise for Carter Efe. He's here with me. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, sir.
We're singing the song before you even came in here today. It's one of those songs that people can't stop vibing to. But before we get to the single, let's talk about comedy, because that's what a lot of us knew you as before.
Yeah.
How did you get into comedy to start with?
Yeah, I was giving birth with it. It's a talent, I've been funny right from day one in school. Like, I used to make everybody laugh. Even my teacher said, if I'm not in school, they'll be asking, where's Carter? Where's Carter? Yeah. Because I'm very funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you decide to go into stand-up? Because most people who are funny try to do stand-up comedy. Why did you now go into skit making more than?
Because of this corona stuff now, when everybody was inside, you cannot even do anything like stand-up. People cannot come together again because of corona. So I say make her do skits because I don't want everybody they do that kind of thing. Yeah.
So when did you? I know you say you've been funny from when you were young and all of that, but when did you decide to take it seriously? Was there something that happened? Was it someone that told you? Was it money? You said, maybe I can make money out of this. What year, what time, or did anything happen that made you decide to take it up professionally?
I started doing skits since 2016. It's something I just love doing, yeah. So immediately I finished my school, SS3, I started doing skits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love it. It's not because of money, it's the passion I have for it.
Yeah.
I don't even know it's going to pay me one day, so I just say, let me do it.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break now and come back. Please stay with us.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove. Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
Yeah.
So when did you start making money from it?
I started making money from skate show. Like, you know, when you get to a state, on one stage of followers, they'll start giving you adverts. Like, I started making skate from, I think when I was in 20K followers, when I have 20K followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, started making money like 30K, 20K for adverts.
So I always wonder, when you start making that early money,
Yeah.
do you approach the brands or do they just come to you? How do they find you?
They'll come to you now because your stuff are trending and people love what you are doing. It's not even just because I have 20K followers, it's because of the engagement I have on Instagram. Yeah. So brand will love to work with people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so COVID then made you take it more seriously, you
Yes,
said, when there was a lockdown and everything. And then, so the skit making industry is very interesting. There's a lot of people now that do it. What do you do differently that makes you stand out?
I'm a madman. So I don't used to do what the regular people used to do. I do something crazy that will make you be like, I know that guy. Yeah, so I've featured in so many big content creators, like Sydney Tucker, Macaroni. So I know most of my guys who have worked with them, but they will not come out. You understand that kind of thing. But if I'm inside like someone like Sydney Skit, I will make sure I do something
That
crazy.
stands out.
Yeah, that stands out. I'll be like, who be that guy? I can't, that kind of stuff. I can just wear my pint, like my boxer, just pass through the back of the camera, even without talking. People will now start looking for me. Who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? So that's just it.
He said pints. Very, very interesting. But there's a lot of criticism now for content creators.
Yeah.
There's always talk like everybody now is creating content. Everybody now is
Yeah.
a content creator. Do you think the industry is still worth it? Do you think it's still an industry that is even just growing? I mean, it just needs some more
It's just
structure.
even growing safe because the skit industry is just growing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get to one stage whereby it will be like music industry, go hard for you to blow.
Yeah.
I swear.
So how did you now do this crossover that you made into music now? Was it a crossover? Has music always been there? What happened?
Me, normally, I love music. I love good music. Even when I used to make people laugh in school, I used to do music too. I would be fooling myself. I don't know how to sing, but I sing. I'll just rap anyhow, that kind of thing. I just rap.
So what motivated this Machala sound?
Machala, yeah, it's because I love Whiskey. Whiskey, everybody call Whiskey Machala, and people too call me Machala. You
Oh, they call you that as well?
Yeah.
How come?
Yes, now because I love Whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Machala, there was something I said on TikTok that went viral that make people start calling me Machala. I said, I want just the Ghana, the smoky go like Whiskey. Yeah, that kind of thing. So it went viral and people start calling me Machala.
Okay. So what made you now decide to do the song? How did you come about? Did you write the song? What happened?
I don't even write the song, safe. I was at home with my guy, around 12 o'clock. I was not like, I started putting some instrumental beats on YouTube, start freestyling.
Just on YouTube, but alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying Machala. Then I was shocked and it was not going through the beat too. And I said, if I post this song will go scatter everywhere. I said, what I go call? So I called my one guy like that, Berry Tiga, the person I featured in the music. I called him, I said, guy, I get one song with Machala. I know say you sabi sing well. Come house now, I'm gonna do something. The guy was very happy. He said, you mad. The next day, brought his producer to my place. Started doing. I told him, bruh, I don't want to hear not sing anything. No, just the talk down Machala. That's why when you listen to the song is short and very catchy. You understand? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to hear anything. So this was basically a song hailing Whiskey.
Yeah.
Is what you were trying to achieve.
Not me hailing Whiskey. you know, people call me Machala. It's just like for Whiskey FC and even for me too, because the song goes like this: I jam whiskey for Ghana. When I dance my makusa, people they craze for Instagram. Yeah, like I mean, I used to dance very well on Instagram, like dance my stuff. So that is why that lyrics was there.
Yeah. Did you really jam him in Ghana?
No, I not jamming in Ghana.
You just put that one there.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you put out the song, what were you expecting? Did you think it was going to blow up, or you were just having fun?
No, me, I just say, let me just do something. So whenever I go out, people just be like, this guy nice sing Machala, this guy nice sing Machala, that kind of thing. But I was not even expecting it big like this. So, but I was shocked.
How have you felt since then?
I feel big now, like, you know, as a content creator, like when you go out, people will be like, don't watch that guy's skit, bye. But now people, they hug me, like they grab me, you understand? So.
Have you started getting booked to
Sure,
perform?
yes, now.
The price has gone up.
It's up now, it's up.
Did you reach out to Wizkid about the song at any point?
No, I'm always thanking him because he has done a lot for me. Even just through hailing him and loving him, man, it has been something else for me. Like every time of my life, I'll just go to his DM. Even I know he's not going to see it, but I'll still thank him.
So you don't know how he feels about the song? Have you heard anything from him?
No, me, I don't. I just did it out of love, man.
Yeah.
I know the person who had the doing for, no reply. So what's I know the kind of person who had the hear now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very, very good song, which is why it's doing so well.
Yeah.
Across the country. Is that going to be your only single, or is music now a part of your life?
Oh, but music is part of my life now. Because the kind money what they see for the music and they sweet me. So it's part of my life now. I'm even thinking of dropping EP soon, self. Yeah. Yeah, now I have song with Caesar Millie and
Oh, you've recorded a few more songs?
yes, now, yeah.
How many more?
I just only one, but I have with so many other people, sure.
That you're working on?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Interesting. Are you going to be talking about other musicians, or is just Wizkid?
Sure?
Any other musicians you plan to
Work with?
hail, maybe?
No, I love whiskey though, but
Yeah.
which person? But everybody, I just like the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right from day one, 2000 and when I even go through my Instagram page, I went to our 2018. The first message I sent to him was, "Wizkid, I love you." I was even shocked that wait till this up.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you've talked a lot about what he's done for you, but without even necessarily meeting him or anything.
Yeah.
Is it that he's influenced your music making, your skit making, your life, so that we just understand what you mean by what he has done for you?
Like everything, if I go out, people hail me, Machala, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even the kind of respect people give me outside because of him, and the kind of love people give me out, give me out there.
How many views do you have on that video now?
My video?
The Machala video.
No, it's not out now.
Okay.
It's not out.
Okay, no, you said you would get how many million views when it dropped? You said something about 10 million views.
yeah,
Why are you so confident about that?
Man, I know it's going to work now. I know. I believe in myself so much. Yeah.
The beats you used for the song, were they samples of any other song, or you created them on your own?
No, we created
Because I was
them.
seeing conversations about whether a stream platform trying to pull it down or something. Just confirm that to us so that we're sure what's happening.
No, it was not a sample song, man.
Yeah.
And it's not even on Apple again, safe.
Why is that?
I don't even know. I don't know. I called the distribution guy yesterday. I said, why my song on the Apple? He said they are working on it, sir. They sent email to Apple. But
Fair enough.
But it's on all platforms, sir.
Yeah. So what's going to happen to skit making now?
Yeah, I'll continue doing my skit now. I'll chop the money from two sides.
Anyway, we drop.
Yeah, sure now.
And music is now, so is music, skit making,
Yeah.
anything else in entertainment you're going to be working on?
Not you now. Yeah, I'm a dancer, no man. I'm a funny dancer. Yeah, I do a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. I know you've done very well with this single. Hopefully, we see more of that coming from you in the future. And you say you're cooking something with Caesar Millie.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else we need to know?
Man, no lick them first.
Where is this EP dropping?
soon. That we did now.
Okay.
Yeah, Whiskey Feed did the EP. But
That's what I'm sure that's what a lot of people are waiting for. You know, I mean, it would be amazing if after all this it actually happens.
Yeah.
You know, that you meet him or you guys even do something together. Who knows? All the best, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
All right, we'll take a break now and we'll come back. Please stay with us.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
Conversations about zodiac signs are often very controversial. Our principles and ambitions help define us as individuals. Our choices, preferences, dreams, and purposes shape our personality in society. Astrology has since ages played a fundamental role in determining your personality, choices, and ambitions on Earth. Believers of astrology would say every person is distinctly unique and therefore has different goals and purposes. While the way the zodiac signs are oddly accurate, many people are ardent believers and others thoroughly terrified and in disbelief of the impact of zodiac signs on their lives. On Rubbin Minds, Ebuka Obiuchendu speaks with media personality Moses Dixon on the complexity of zodiac signs and how they impact our lives.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to be talking zodiacs. Not my favorite topic, but I'm hoping my guest here gets to convince me about all the things around that. Moses Dixon is here with us. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
So I'm one of those who don't believe the zodiacs make any sense. Convince me.
That might be hard. You're the lawyer in the room.
Why did you take an interest in it?
Well, it's been a long time, quite frankly. At some point growing up, I was depressed and looking for answers, and I stumbled upon something that happened to have those answers. It looked like it did anyway, until I did further study, and I realized that some of the things that were listed were quite uncanny in its accuracy. You would wonder, was I being pursued with a camera for them to have written these things down? Strangers, no less, that know nothing about me, seem to have these truths written down, available for everyone to, consume. So I couldn't resist, quite frankly. And on further study, I realized that it was actually quite accurate.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not a huge believer.
I can understand that.
And one of the arguments, not just from me, from people who also sort of maybe might be in the school of thought as mine, is that a lot of these descriptions are very general, but they word things differently. So, Cancerians are very emotional, but also Scorpios might be moody. So they use moody here, they use emotional here, or whatever. And I can see where that is coming from. Don't you see how that is also true? Secondly, are zodiacs backed by science? What is it backed by?
Okay.
In your theory?
Well, let me quickly let me dial back a little bit. Well, zodiac signs, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that it's all part of something called astrology,
Yes.
which refers to a range of divinatory practices that claim that the celestial bodies have an influence on, our behaviors and whatnot. Yes, I've heard the argument that it's quite general, and if you were to do some sort of test now, you were to give everyone in the room the exact same reading, there's a high chance that every single one of them. Yes, I know the argument.
Horoscopes are the worst, but let's not get into that one.
I know the argument.
Yeah.
But then when you look at every other kind of psychological classifications of people, quite frankly, there is no either or when it comes to psychology. It's only and, in the sense that we're all a mixture of the same things. Let's take temperaments, for instance. You're a melancholic, a sanguine, a phlegmatic, and a choleric. No one is one thing. You're a San Mel or a Mel San. We're a mixture of things. Take the MBTI now. There's the ENFJ, ISFP. There's so many other psychological classifications that a lot of us can relate to, even if it's not quite particular. Now, the issue with zodiacs is that it's quite vast, it's quite broad, and a lot of people do not want to take time and study. They read what they find on magazines and newspapers, that, oh, I'm a Gemini, I do this, I like women, I'm flirtatious, I'm this and that. But in reality, if I say...
It's much more than that.
It's much more than that. I know this for a fact that you're a Cancer. You're born in July 14th, am I correct? Good. if you were to read about a cancer on any article that you find out, a lot of the things are actually made to be general because they cannot account for the intricacies of your zodiac signs on a very easy to consume medium. If you want to find out more, you have to go and read more. When they say you're a Cancer, they simply mean the sun was in the planet of Cancer when you were born. But there's a myriad of other factors. Where was Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the moon? That's exactly why.
So how does that affect me as a person is my question.
Okay.
Because my closest friend in university, secondary school through university, we're born 3 days apart.
Okay.
But if you found two polar opposites anywhere in the world, that would be two of us.
Two of you.
We are both Cancerians. And that is always my go-to sort of analysis whenever people talk about this. We're complete opposites. But we're the same sign. So how do you explain things like that? I mean, like you said, I've read things about the sign that I read. I'm like, okay, I can see a lot of things that are me or could be me. But I also see a lot of signs that show me,
Not quite.
this doesn't really make sense. So how do you explain a thing like that for someone who maybe wants to understand it?
No. You know, I mentioned how so many factors are involved.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because you're dealing with planets, it's actually quite scientific, quite mathematical, if you ask me. You're dealing with planets here. So therefore, if you were born in Inewi, another person was born in Aguata, there will be a difference in your reading in the sense that the location you are in has changed. You're working with degrees. That's why I said it's quite technical. And also, let's even take it to something less technical. Upbringing matters. You're a Cancer, I'm a Cancer. You came from a wealthy background. I came from a poor background. My mannerisms are bound to differ. You grew up with sisters. I grew up with only brothers. You can't expect us to behave the same way. So external factors that don't have nothing to do with the zodiac influence this disparity that everyone sees. But in reality, that's why skilled astrologers or skilled people who are skilled in this particular discipline, they don't look for the obvious things. I could tell a Cancer apart from anybody in the room. I don't even need to know its birthday, merely because of the very, very basic thing. A Cancer is naturally warm. No matter where they came from.
Am I warm?
I mean, I met you in the room and instantaneously your aura was pretty warm and welcoming. I'm not saying there aren't angry Cancers, because funny enough, the most serial killers are actually
I've heard
Cancers.
that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are always those things that you cannot easily tell apart. Because I'm a Christian, because a lot of people tend to think that this particular discipline is, it goes against religion.
Yeah.
But I'm a Christian and I have no witchcraft powers whatsoever. But we were having a conversation, myself and a couple of friends, and the person mentioned a particular actress. I have no idea who she was. But then I saw her and I said, this particular actress is giving me the vibes of either a Taurus or a Cancer. I said that flippantly. And he thinking that, okay, let me prove this guy wrong. He checked it and she was born on the 12th day of May, a Taurus. How did I do that? I could see the vibes that she was emitting. And quite frankly, anybody who takes their time, does their due diligence, and can factor in all the differences and disparities,
It would make a little more sense.
It would make so much sense.
So I think another issue I really have with zodiac signs is how it sort of defines people's relationships and friendships. I see people, they go on a date or they meet a friend. Oh, what star are you? Or what sign are you? Oh, Gemini. Oh, no, we don't mix.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder when people don't even try to explore friendships anymore. And I see it a lot now with a lot of younger people who they instantly decide without even knowing anyone that they can't be friends or they can't date or they can't marry just because a certain sign and a certain sign can never have peace. Why do things like that happen? And are those real things? Are they things that are actually sort of backed by facts in any way?
Well, the truth of the matter is astrology suffers the same fate as feminism, in the sense that the most ignorant are the loudest, or those with the least educated opinions are usually the ones with the most opinions. So that's kind of the same fate astrology faces. Quite frankly, when you see someone trying to defend their actions with the zodiac sign, you have to laugh at it because it's absurd. That's lack of accountability on your part. It has absolutely nothing to do with whatever the signs may have predestined.
All right, we'll take a quick break now and come back. Please stay with us.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
In reality, actually, when it's written that you and a particular sign are not exactly compatible, it doesn't mean you and this person cannot have a healthy relationship. In reality, any two mature people can have a relationship. Any, wherever, whatever sign. I like to put that out there. But what this does now is to give you an edge in the sense that it's easier for you to smooth your differences when you know that, okay, this is your difference. For instance, now, let me use Cancer once again. It's a water sign. It belongs to the water element. That's another detail for another day. And let's say you're in cahoots with the Aries now in the fire element. You should already know that one is more emotional than the other. So if, for example, that particular kind of union happens, automatically, if either one of them is astrologically savvy, you would know that, okay, this, my partner, let's say the Cancer is a woman, is more emotional than most. So I cannot relate with her the way I would other fire signs. I should actually take the time to learn how she responds to things, therefore to make our relationship easier. You as an Aries now, if you had a relationship with another Aries, it will be significantly easier because you tend to have similar traits. So some might be easier than the others, some quite difficult, but that's life really. Even if you didn't know about the zodiacs, some relationships will be harder than the other and some will be easier than the other. But saying that you're not compatible is not an excuse to not bring your best foot forward or to commit to a relationship. It's actually a very poor assessment of things, and it's a poor way to think. And it's also immature, quite frankly, for you to exclude the wonders of discovering new people, meeting different souls, simply because it's written in the zodiac that you're not compatible. That's a very poor application of the whole.
So I just want to get something clear from you, because I hear you a lot. You are being reasonable. You understand that, okay, people are the way they are. Zodiacs might affect or might be a part of someone's personality, but it doesn't necessarily define them.
It does not define them.
Why then are they important, is my question.
It's like asking why the last 15 years of my life have been interesting. Why is it important? Because I can't say, to be honest. Because
why should I care?
In this day and age, in this world that we live in, it's quite important that you make friends and you network with the right people. So I can't even say whether or not you need this, because there are other ways. If I tell you this is the only way to understand the world, I'm lying to you. If I say it's the only way to understand other people, I'm equally lying, because there are so many other personality indicators in the world. Like I said, there's MBTI, there's the temperament, there's the Big 5 personality test. They're all sorts of classifications. But why you should care is because this one yields the most amount of information with the littlest personal knowledge. In the sense that for me to judge whether or not you're a sanguine or a melancholic, I have to live with you. I can't just see both. I can't see both temperaments from a distance. I can see the first one, the primary one. If you're extroverted, I could say you're either a choleric or a sanguine. But with this particular trait, this particular zodiac now, all I needed was your day, the birthday, and the birth month. And I would glean an unhealthy amount of information about you. God bless me, I happen to have the year you were born. Wow. The things I could find out about you. Really, if I were to do a reading for anyone.
So the year also counts?
The year
besides just the...
That's what makes it less general. The difference between you and a July 14th, 1991 person and someone say 1994, oh my, there's a world of difference. And that's kind of why you see a lot of differences between similar signs. You're not born on the exact same minute, the exact same second, the exact same hour. You cannot expect to have similar results or similar readings. But someone born in a completely different year would have a particular part of their birth chart, let's say Mars, responsible for communication. He might have his Mars in Aries. I know it's a lot of gibberish, but try to stay with me. Mars, responsible for communication. Venus, responsible for love. Mars is sexual energy. Mercury is communication, and Venus is love. And the moon is your subconscious. Any small discrepancy in the location and the time you were born could alter one of these variables. And once it's altered, automatically you're going to have a different result. So why should you care? It's because it makes your interaction with people easier. Or in layman's terms, it makes getting girls easier. If you're a guy and you see a chick, let's say you're a Gemini guy like myself, and I meet let's say a Capricorn woman, I already know what to do.
Yeah.
Capricorn women are not disposed to, blind overtures and sweet nothings. They require a more stable man that has the promise of security. And I've seen this happen times without number. It works. It's too easy. When you appear more mature and more responsible than most, automatically you score points in her life. So it's not even your co-workers, your boss. If your boss is an Aries, you should know he's going to be the type to lash out more often than not. Don't take it personally. It's his behavior. So if you don't see why knowing people a little bit better could help you in all walks of life, means you don't not you in particular, means the person doesn't know what it takes to really live in harmony with everyone. So I think this helps a great deal.
On a final note, November 25th is what's Zodiac?
I'm sorry to say this. I
Capricorn?
think I know who you're referring to. Your wife is born sometime
No,
late
not my wife.
November, but okay.
Is what sign?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yes.
So I want to end on leadership now. Sagittarius, Cancer, Aries.
Okay.
Who makes the best leader? Based on your zodiac
I feel like this
projection.
this question is a trap, but let me enter with my full chest. Sagittarius, Cancer, Aries. Quite frankly, the zodiac is not a healthy determinant of who will
I knew
lead.
he was going to dodge that one.
Because Adolf Hitler was an Aries. So what am I supposed to say now? You know, but in reality, which sign is more disposed for adequate leadership? A Sagittarius, Cancer, and Aries. I would say, then the country matters. In Nigeria now, you need a hard-handed man. In Nigeria, you need a hard-handed man. Abroad, you need a diplomatic man like Barack Obama, who happens to be a Leo. He's the perfect fit for the American demographic. But in Nigeria, we need an authoritarian because the people here, we tend to flout rules and disregard soft lines. We like hard lines. So in Nigeria, I would say an Aries would be in the best capacity to govern a country like Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
And I'm not saying Tinubu. I'm not saying Tinubu. I'm not endorsing Tinubu because I know
you're
he's an
not.
Aries.
I just wanted to-
I know Peter Obi is a Cancer, and I know
Atiku.
well, he's a Sagittarius. He's a late November man.
Yes.
I've done my research in that regard. So I'm not saying any of them are
Yeah.
better than the other.
I get you.
But in a country like Nigeria, yes, we need a hardliner who could put his foot down. But also, we need a Cancer who could also lead in love, and which is one of their strong points. The Cancers, they tend to, be the most sympathetic, and they tend to feel things that aren't being said. They tend to collect vibes and feelings. So depending
Depends
on
on what you're
depending
looking
on
out
the
for.
terrain. That's why I said it's a very dicey subject, because there's so much to consider, and why it's currently being murdered or bastardized amongst people in today's world, because very few have decided to actually learn anything other than is on the front page of a newspaper. If you actually took your time to read it, throw away religious biases, because I said I'm a Christian, what I do, what I study is purely scientific. It's a purely academic discipline. I don't commune with any spirits. So if you can actually pick it up like mathematics, like English language, like physics, if you were to read it like that, trust me, you would actually have a better understanding.
Thank you very much for your analysis today. I don't know if I'm fully convinced, but good luck with everything. Okay. And I like the passion that you show. That's very, very important. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
All right, like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media. Please use the hashtag #RubbinMinds when you send us a message. I'll see you next time.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing